Alright, today's video we'll be talking about DAX, the DAX brand. This is a trader on YouTube with just 21 videos and 71,000 plus subscribers and increasing every day. Well, he has a strategy that is really simple, and it is actually one of those strategies that when you understand it, you realize that at its core, it is simply market structure. So allow me to explain. Let's head into the chart. This is the Euro USD on the monthly time frame. Now, I don't even know if there's a opportunity here following his strategy, but let's just explain market structure. If you understand market structure, there's absolutely nothing he says that is going to sound or look bewildering or different from the standard market structure you know of. Now, let me explain this. Market structure, as we all know, is highs and lows. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows for a bullish market. And then for a bearish market, it is the exact inverse, right? It is price making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high. This is the basic market structure. But something that we all miss is when you put this together like this. When price moves up, price comes down, price goes up, price comes down. When you put this together, there's always a shape that forms at the changing point. And I just drew two separate structures. And what you notice is when price broke below this low, it came back for a retest and then went off again to then continue its constant structure. If you separate it, it is still remaining a structure. Now, market structure is missed in terms of actually drawing it in any market whatsoever, whether it's the 1 minute, 5 minutes, 1 hour charts, name it, it's just missed in drawing it. For example, let's take a look at this chart. If you ask somebody to draw market structure on this chart, the person would most likely do this. They would say there is a high, then there is a low, then there is this high, and there is this low, this high. It's not as if this person is not correct, right? It's not as if this person is not correct, but this person is, should I say, still not correct. Why? Because on this time frame, this is a structure obviously, but it's not the structure for this time frame. This structure is a structure for another time frame, which is a lower time frame. So when you're drawing market structure, it is completely reliant on the time frame you are looking at. For example, this is the monthly time frame on the New Zealand dollar against, the euro against the US dollar. So drawing from what we can see on this place, this is the highest high that was made at the beginning. This is the height of it, all the way to the low of it, all the way to the height of it, all the way to the low of it. This is the market structure here. Now, because this is not enough data, you can't tell if it is bullish or bearish. But currently, if you're looking at this, you'd say it is bullish, because you can just say, assume yourself for this low, this high, and say this low, and then aim for this high. But honestly, this whole part of it is wrong. This entire part of it that I just drew is wrong. Completely wrong. Why? I'll show you why in a minute. So this whole part that we just drew is absolutely wrong. Completely wrong. And why do I say it is wrong? Why do we say it's totally wrong? Well, it is very simple. Market structure is only made when a high or low is broken on that same time frame. This is the high that has been made on this time frame, and this is the low that has been made on this time frame. Until one of them is broken, until it is broken, meaning until price trades either above like this or below this, it is not a new structure. We're still within the previous structure of price ending right here. So we don't know if this is going for demand or supply. Why? Simply because we do not have the higher lows and higher highs, or lower lows and lower highs. So what you do is, since you cannot determine this market on the monthly time frame, and this is why, if you've noticed my chart recently, I have removed the monthly time frame from my view and other charts I've been using. And it is simple, because I cannot determine the direction of market on a monthly time frame because of the monthly structure. So what you do, you go to a time frame below that, where you can now determine structure. So you can now say that on this location, on this place, we can determine market structure. Why? because we are looking for obvious, very obvious highs and lows. This is a very obvious high. So we're going to start from this major place again. This is a very obvious low. This is a very obvious high. This is a very obvious low. This is a very obvious high on this time frame. This is a very obvious low. And now today's market is currently this week. I'm talking about this current week was currently in is a obvious high. So in other words, we still cannot determine if this market is bullish or bearish because of the weekly structure. We do not have enough data. You can see this is also the same thing as what I drew on the monthly just now, which is quite scary, right? You can see the monthly ended here. The weekly continued its trend inside here. So what did I just do? Let me explain it again. What I just did is this simple. So what I just did is, let's take the monthly structure again as this high and then this low, right? This is the monthly structure. So I'll give this a totally different color. Let's make it red, meaning this is the monthly structure. Now we cannot determine between all the way from here to this end, right? We cannot determine what the market really is here on this structure yet, right? Because we do not have like flow. So we go down to what? Weekly. Now on the weekly, we want to determine what the structure really is. We're now going to start from where this guy stopped. So where did it stop? It stopped right here. Now we're going to start from here and we're going to find a clear high. This is a clear high. Now you would have taken this low, but guess what? Price broke this low. This is not the lowest point on your view. This is the lowest point on your view. So this is the low. This is the high. So on this time frame, on the weekly time frame, this is what structure looks like. And we're going to give this a different color too to determine it. So this is the weekly time frame structure. Obviously, you can now say we're making higher. We broke this high, hence we're hoping for a uptrend. Hence, we're just hoping on this weekly time frame right now, we're hoping for price to come back anytime within months, because weeks, if you calculate weeks into a long time, anytime between months is going to come down here and then push up if this is going to be a bullish market. Else, we're going to see a break of this structure again, and then we expect price to come back for a retest. So those two things very complex on the weekly. So therefore, weekly context is not something we can actually use. Hence, weekly cannot be used. So we dive now into the daily. Now on the daily, this is a lot of information to look at. You see some people to squint their chart like this. It's not because they just feel like squinting it. It's because they wanted to see like the clear structure they can see. So let's head into the daily. In the daily, even if the chart is like this, right? Even if the chart is like this, you can't draw structure by just doing this. You go up. So this is the lowest point we can find from the hard left. This is the highest point. Is this the highest point? No, there's this point which is higher. So this is the highest point. Now, we're not just doing the lowest point and highest point, because if you're doing the lowest point and highest point, you'll still miss it somewhat. Now, from here, price has rallied up here. Now, we do not have a clear retracement for price apart from this. Now, you can see how the structure is beginning to slowly show up into smaller structure. We now have euro pull down to a smaller structure. Now, if you go down to 4 hours to draw a structure, automatically you now have way more things to see. So I'm going to change that daily to something else. So this is it. We have this structure showing up right now. So you can see how the structure is changing. I will just let me hide the chart itself. Do you see how the structure is now showing? This is the monthly structure. This is the weekly structure. The purple is the weekly. The blue is the daily structure. Now we're going to head into the 4 hours to draw a 4-hour structure. And you can start, like I said, you can start from almost anywhere. Now, unlike the daily and the rest, the sweet thing is the lower you go, the more structure you can see. So we're going to start from the hard left. This is the high, this is the low, and I'm seeing price making a lot of moves here. So this is the low, this high, price took out this low and then retraced. Where's the highest point of a correction here? So this is the highest correction made. It then went down to this point. Now you would have taken this to this, but I won't take it. So I'll just take straight all the way to this point. Now I need, unlike what people think will think this is structure, this is structure, this is structure, this is structure. That's just waste of your time. This is the highest high you've made yet, right? You need price to break this high. So allow me drop this. Let me explain this clearly. This is the highest high you've made. Until price breaks this level, structure has not changed. So what does it mean? It means to continue this, I think I'll make this a different color now, so people begin to understand what I'm talking about. On this level here, let's make it light blue. So on this level here, automatically, until this is broken, we don't have a structure. What does that mean? This is now our new structure. If this is our new structure, until this is broken, we do not have a new structure. Hence, you can draw it like this. This is your impulse. So you're going to look for the lowest low after this point that led to the structure that broke this high. Hence, you're looking at this low, or you could draw it backwards. This high went down to this lowest low. Hence, your structure automatically becomes this. So this becomes your structure for that place. Then you could aim for this point. Again, you're looking at what broke it. Not this one. You're not looking for wicks above. You're looking for a clear close above. Now, this is me drawing daily structure. And then you will look, if this is a clear close above, where's the highest high after this point? You draw it backwards to the lowest low made here. And then you draw it here. So what do you have? You have this structure. After this point, again, what is the high? This is the highest high from that point. We're going to draw a line straight until price closes above again. And then you could draw your structure from the highest high made down here and up here. So what do we have now? We now have this daily structure right here. This blue, light blue one here. I'll draw it all in one go now, and then I'll remove the other smaller ones we've drawn. So we have price move up here, down here, up here, down here. Sorry, I need that to come up clearly. So down here, up here, down here, up here again, down here, up here, down here, and now price is up here. Make it thicker, and then I'll give it a different color for you to see it out loud. Okay, so now you can see that this is the daily structure. Hence, this is the structure you can actually start looking at something to trade. Why? Because you can now see clear higher lows and higher highs. You can see here, this is a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So in this market, this is an uptrending market. Clearly now you can say this is an uptrending market. And when you're saying uptrending, you're talking about from this spot up all the way to this spot. So the market is still uptrending. But on the other time frame, what do you see? Take note, the higher time frame just above this time frame, which was a daily. Remember, it was a thick blue. We only have a straight up, down, and up. This is how to draw market structure very fast for yourself. The easiest and fastest way you can draw market structure. Now, why did I say we're talking about DAX here? DAX talks about market structure and how it leads to QMR and QMCs for trading, not just for himself. Now, if you understand all of this, you could simply now look at market structure like this, right? This is market structure. To simplify DAX's strategy for you, you need a downtrend, probably a downtrend that leads into this. It could even be an uptrend where price decided to freeze for a while, consolidate, and then create this at the very end. What you are looking for first and foremost is a Fibonacci retracement of at least 50% from this leg. This leg has to first and foremost come 50% down here. That's the first thing before it takes off. So you are looking for price breaking a high, a lower high, right? Price breaking a lower high first and foremost to create its first higher high, to then create a higher low. The higher low it creates has to be 50% below, and then creates another higher high, which is breaking this structure, right? The moment you have this setup, first and foremost, your next target is pretty simple. Next target is pretty simple. you are going to look for a PY around here, around this region where price made the first lower high, lower low. You're going to look for a PY here, and then after looking for this PY, you are aiming for price to not go below this point. Sometimes it could go below that point for like a very short period, which is it. Now take note, when they say price not to go below this point, take note, remember we said closes. If price closes below this point, it is already invalid. So what you're waiting for is price to do whatever it does on this time frame. Whatever it's doing is not your business, but you're waiting for price to come here. When it comes here, you buy and you start to aim for anywhere around here. It could be 1 to 3, it could be 1 to 2. You aim for it. So in other words, if I'm to place a trade, let's say I saw this on the chart, I want to place a trade. I'm going to place a trade like this. Stop loss is supposed to be below this point, and you aim for here. You could aim, according to him, he has done a lot of trading in this strategy. You could aim for 3 risk to reward ratio. It would be 3. It's about 2.99. So it would be 3, and price could even do whatever it's doing. Coming back here, it is most likely going to retrace. Now, what is the sweetest thing to do to make this one, like, you're not confident to just take a trade here, right? So what are you going to be looking for? You're going to be looking for this. You're going to be looking for this. So when price is retracing down here, you're looking for price on the lower time frame, right? On the lower time frame to do what around here again? To do the exact same thing on the lower time frame here. The moment price does the exact same thing on the lower time frame in this spot, whether it just touches it and start doing it, goes below it and does it, within it and does it. Once you see price do this same thing on the lower time frame inside this box, you can now place your trade and aim for that 3 risk to reward ratio. You could use this one to aim for 3 if you're scared for a long run. If you want to really do the long run, then you put your trade like this and you aim for your 3. So that is why this is what I just wanted to teach this morning. Why am I teaching this? So I was looking at the charts this morning, just picking up random markets. I decided to just go away from the fundamentals for a while and look at every other chart I can see. And I noticed about 4 different charts where this has happened consecutively. Like consecutively, it has happened very, very well, and giving them at least a 3 is to reward ratio. I think there was one I saw this morning. Was it USD Swiss franc or so? I can't remember exactly where I saw that opportunity this early morning. I would have taken note of it. I was in a bus when I saw that. I was just fiddling with my phone and then I spotted it. I was like, whoa, I really missed all of this. If I had understood market structure well before that point, I think I would have made a huge profit in that spot. I would have made a huge profit in that spot, I think. But nevertheless, I just wanted to share this knowledge. Thank you all for watching, and see you all on another one. Peace.